Neil Gaiman's Sandman is a twisted 80s goth fantasy come to life in the DC universe. Let's talk about it. Before we begin, I just want to say this is a Supes choice. So, looks like we got a visitor. Would you look who it is? Our sound engineer. Anything you got to say, Neris?
Oh my gosh!
I guess not. All right. See you, sound engineer. The year was 2020. The earth was sick, and I just turned 21. And, on my birthday, I got the 3 Omnibuy for Neil Gaiman's Sandman. Prior to me even getting these books, I've heard all the hype for Sandman, and I was especially curious after watching an episode from the Comic Pop team. Neil Gaiman's Sandman is an ongoing comic book series under the DC Vertigo lineup. Think mature books within the DC universe, so basically their current black label today. The story follows Dream of the Endless. He's been imprisoned for 72 years by the Order of Ancient Mysteries. Who are the Endless, you may ask? Well, the Endless are embodiments of natural forces that make up humanity, and their Dream's family. The names of his siblings are Destiny, Destruction, Desire, Despair, and my favorite, Death, who is the most humane of the bunch, but you know what, we'll get to her in a bit. Upon escaping, Dream must reclaim his objects of power while still in a weakened state. He has to enlist the help of John Constantine to confront an addict for his dream powder. He has to fight the legions of hell and even square off with Lucifer himself, or their self, because they're drawn like Tilda Swinton, if I'm being quite honest. And he has to face off against an escaped madman known as Dr. Destiny. And I gotta say, Dr. Destiny is one of my favorite villains in a story. Dr. Destiny is drawn really creepily. His teeth and skin fall off and everything. And I just love how this book really does a good job of embedding itself in the DC universe. Even though this whole story is kind of like retconned, it just fit perfectly, I would say. Even down to Dr. Destiny's prison mate being Jonathan Crane, the Scarecrow. Come on, great shit. Preludes and Nocturnes is an amazing ride as you're really seeing the groundworks for what's to come within the Sandman series. It is fun, it's full of horror, it's full of just a lot of insightful things. And when I first read it, it just felt like something I haven't seen before. I think my favorite issue out of the first story arc would have to be the final story. It's called On Her Wings. And you get to meet Death, who, unlike other depictions of death in just pop culture and just media in general, Death is portrayed as a spunky goth / punk inspired person who's very, very humane. And you basically get to see her along the ride and what it is that she does. And she has a lot of compassion towards her role of meeting with people that die and walking them to the other side. She doesn't really decide where they go, but she just makes sure that they feel comforted on their way to figuring that out and everything. And seeing her interactions with Dream is just...
Let me tell you something, Dream. And I'm only going to say this once, so you better pay attention. You are utterly the stupidest, most self-centered, pathetic excuse for an anthropomorphic personification on this or any other plane.
Chef's kiss. All right. I know I didn't get into too much detail with this, but all I have to say for my final thoughts is that you guys really need to check this out. If you haven't read Sandman, go watch the show. The show is actually pretty accurate, although I have my own thoughts and opinions about some of the things in the show. But who am I to judge? But no, I gotta say, go check it out. Down to the rating. Will this stand the test of time? I would say this story is a 5 out of 5. Sandman will totally stand the test of time. So much so that it took them 20 years to turn it into a movie or a TV show. And the fact that it still is being talked about to this day says a lot of different things. And if you like horror, if you like 80s, if you like just dark stories or maybe even introspective stories about life, then this is going to be the book for you. All right, well, happy holidays, and I'm really hoping to see you guys next year on a Saturday near you soon. So, in the meantime, I guess I'll see you a couple Saturdays from now, Supes.